Chad.
Chris.
I'm Andrew.
Yeah.
And we watched my selection this week for a man movie, which is Raw Deal. This is one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's lesser known movies from his peak era during Hollywood, when he was still pretty ripped, but not disgustingly ripped. Reason why I picked this movie is because while Commando is probably my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, this movie adds a little something extra to it. And that is the fact that Arnold takes on the mafia, and he also gets to wear a really nice wardrobe. He has fancy suits in almost every scene. And let me tell you something. What is more manly than Arnold Schwarzenegger and nice suits?
Tom Cruise as a samurai. And no, what did I say? Arnold Schwarzenegger looks good in a suit, smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
At first, I made fun of his slicked hair, and then I was like, shit, he looks good. Damn it.
You'll see a picture right here.
Yeah, he looks great.
All right, I'm not going to lie. When he first told us we were watching this movie, I watched like a very quick part of the trailer because I didn't want to watch too much. And I'm like, God damn it, Andrew. You're going to bring us to a schlock fest.
Yeah,
while it is schlock,
it's good schlock.
it's very good schlock.
This is one of those B movies where it's like, not exactly, it's a B++.
I love this movie.
It's yeah,
So,
this movie was fun.
The beginning of this movie got me hooked.
Oh,
come on.
I mean, the guy was sniping people with a scope on a silenced M1 Garand, and it's like, what is this, fucking Call of Duty? Like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah, but
I think Chad's talking about the police chase with the Jeep.
Oh,
Yes.
It's a motorcycle. No, I thought the shootout was the original opening.
Well, that is, but the real opening scene with the Jeep
see.
and the police bike.
the original opening was get the plot going.
Was the mafia people killing a witness.
Yeah.
And
that was a good opening.
no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was just the gun choice was retarded. Like most
Well,
of
it's an 80s movie. They're like, what cool guns
80s
we got?
movies. I'm surprised we didn't see a Spas 12. I'm surprised we didn't see a big like MG42 because it's an 80s movie.
And you know what?
No,
Of all the 80s tropes with like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and stuff, you have to give this movie credit for one thing. They actually show the people, good and bad, reloading their guns.
I mean, yes, they do show them reloading their guns after the 500th round he fired out of his. So,
But
like,
still, that's still
Exactly.
better
It's-
than.
It's like, he's probably loading off camera.
it's something. I mean, Heat, going back to Andrew's pick, the way they were reloading their guns constantly and fucking, they even were chambering rounds and shit. Like,
I love
Arnold-
how people watching ManQuest can just tell our types of movies.
Oh yeah, Chris's movies are horrible and depressing. Chad's are silly and goofy, and Andrew's are intense crime movies. We have three very different concepts of what being a man is. Chad's is enjoying yourself. Chris is just dealing with reality and how crippling and horrible it is. And then Andrew's is guns are cool, and so is crime.
And so are nice suits.
And so are nice. Oh, they wore great suits in Heat.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm starting to see a pattern.
That's where most of the budget goes on these movies.
No, the budget in this movie went to the gas station explosion.
Yeah.
That was
That and the suits. So here's a fun fact. Someone was interviewing Arnold a couple of years ago, and they asked him what one of his favorite movies to film was, and he actually said this movie was one of his favorites to film because it was the first movie he got to wear nice clothes. I mean, think about it.
I think
Throughout all even the
Yeah.
the 80s, but even the 90s, he didn't really wear anything extravagant. In this movie, like every scene, he was wearing a different suit that was nice.
And it was dirty all the time.
Yeah, he's always dirty. He's always fucking bloody. He's always. The end sucked when he put on the leather jacket. I thought that was lame. I think he should have gone
If he went out in the suit and just destroyed people in a suit,
in like a
that would've been
three-piece
cool.
suit with like.
But I
a
think
vest.
John Wick kind of spoiled us with it.
But to the credit, I mean, he was bloody towards the end.
Right, he got shot all up his arms, which is a weird.
And he
place
did
to
the
shoot.
kind of badass going around with the guns and stuff. Well, it's
Okay.
Arnold. It's hard not to look badass.
Yes, it's very hard not to look badass when you're Arnold. Like even taking a shit, I think Arnold looks cool. I bet he probably sits there and thinks.
Cigar in his mouth.
No, it's
every shit he has a cigar.
no, it's the intro to Conan when he's dressed in all the furs, sitting on the throne. Dude, I can't wait for that movie, King Conan.
Oh, I know. But to break down this plot very fast, it's a very simple plot. Basically, at the beginning of the movie, FBI's son gets murdered in the drug bust.
Yeah, an FBI agent's kid gets murdered in a witness protection assassination.
Witness protection thing. So he decides to
And
go
he's
off the
friends
book.
with Arnold. And Arnold got the title of the movie, Raw Deal. Arnold got the raw deal. He brought in some fucking rapist and he beat the living shit out of him.
Hold on. Not just a rapist, a kidnapping, pedophile, mutilator. They use the word mutilate to describe, which means he just kind of took a knife and did whatever.
So him dying, I don't really care.
No. Arnold brought him to the precinct with literally half of every bone broken. And so Arnold took him to an alley and just fucking put the boots to him, which is what cops used to do.
Which is, if you meet a pedophile who does stuff like that,
you my father's told me many a story about people who just needed to get their shit kicked.
Yeah. But basically, so the FBI agent finds Arnold because Arnold was a disgraced FBI agent. Now he's a sheriff in Chicago.
Some little town.
Yeah, no, it's some bumfuck town in Texas.
And his wife is all depressed because she's like, we used to live in New York.
By the way, wife is my favorite character. I want to marry her.
She's a drunk who makes cake? You don't like cake?
I don't like
But
cake.
I love how she's like, Cow's biggest contribution is that she holds up the cake and it says shit.
Exactly. She's funny. Dude, she's an alcoholic. She's okay with cooking. And
I like how they don't have any resolution of what happened to her.
No, she just thinks her husband's dead.
Because basically Arnold fakes his death to go on this mission.
Yeah, so FBI's son dies because Arnold's a disgraced cop. He goes, hey, I'll let you back in the bureau if you go kill... If you're basically a hitman. Go kill these guys for me. And so Arnold's like, I'll fucking kill those guys for me.
But he basically wants Arnold to go undercover into the gang.
So he has to fake his death
and do all this
have
stuff.
And he didn't tell his wife any of this.
Yeah.
He just faked his death one night and then he parted his hair and slicked it back and started smoking a cigar and hitting on whores.
Arnold, as a gangster in this movie,
was dripping in pussy.
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense.
But he was honorable, though. He wouldn't cheat on his wife, and then the girl got
He would
pissed.
not cheat on his wife, yeah.
So she got...
Man movie.
So she dressed down... Yeah, that's probably the one man lesson. Otherwise, this is just an boilerplate action.
No, there's several man things.
Okay.
Nice suits.
Vanity is not becoming of a man.
Any person can put a suit on. It's what you do with the suit that matters.
Exactly. And what did Arnold do with his suit? He beat the shit out of some poor guy in a drag bar. He sold drugs. He helped rob a fucking police station.
But there's something to be said about a man in a nice suit.
I mean, we all like the way we're gonna look, right?
Do you guarantee it?
I can guarantee it.
No, like I said, it's not the suit that makes a person, it's your actions that make the person that's in the suit.
No, but like think about like you want to be a man on the town. Like let's say you're going out to a bachelor party and you want to be a man. You're going to wear a nice suit, right?
I do the opposite because I'm that man who's like, I do my own thing. That's very masculine.
That's like the time we had a bachelor party for, I think it was Ben's. We were all wearing flannels and we got robbed by a black guy who was trying to sell us coke.
In my mind, when I think of a good man, like or a true man is, yes, he's going to be strong. He's going to be loyal to his wife. He's going to be a badass, but also he's going to have a nice suit.
So you need a hero. He's got to be braver than brave, stronger than strong, and ready for the fight. You need a hero who will stay true.
Bonnie Tyler, 1980. All right, yes, I know what you're going with this.
Yeah, it's copyright strike.
I need a hero.
No, I mean, like that's one of the things. Like, this is one of Arnold's lesser known movies, and I feel like this is a very underrated movie.
Oh, I'll agree 100%. This movie was made very efficiently.
The gun work in this movie was actually pretty great. Besides for like your little joking about it can't. There was some shots I don't think he could make with those guns.
There was a lot of 80s, like, I'll just point the gun in that direction and hit him.
But the squib work and everything.
Squib work was great.
Great.
The Foley work was amazing. I mean, the silenced gun fucking threw me through a loop because silence.
I do like how the guy had the silencer with the gun and he came up and the guy turned around. He's like, shit, and he just shoots him.
But then the silencer goes, pew. And it's
like,
worse
fucking
in reality, silencers are loud as fuck.
Bang! Like that.
It's like a big.
No, it's a gunshot, just slightly.
No, it's basically a gunshot, just like maybe
So,
75%.
that scene in John Wick 2 when they're walking through the subway shooting at each other with silenced pistols, the very first shot, everyone would have been like, what the fuck's happening? And like ran away because it's still a fucking gunshot. The point of the silencer is not to silence it, but not be able to tell what direction
If I
it's
learned
coming
anything from the Long Halloween, you just gotta put a baby bottle pacifier thing on the top of it. That silences it.
I mean, yeah, you fill it with rags, and it's basically to destroy the muzzle flash and to just not really dampen the sound, but not be able to tell where it's coming from.
I do miss muzzle flashes from the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Heat had great muzzle flash.
This movie did too.
This movie and Heat had great gunplay.
Well, you go back to any 80s movie, they use like...
Yeah, we kind of, in the 90s and in the 2000s, we lost gunplay.
Because it's all digital.
And you know what I also loved with the gunplay was, like, granted, they showed the reloading every once in a while, but what I also loved was that when they showed the revolver reloading, because revolvers are not that easy to reload. Think about how many video games like GoldenEye and stuff, where the revolver is just like, oh yeah, let me just pop it open and stick six in. It's not that easy.
It actually is, if you know what you're doing. My father.
But Chris, in the heat of the moment.
In the heat.
In the heat.
Yeah. In the heat. Sometimes you get a raw deal, you know? No, but revolvers have this awesome thing where when you flick the chamber out, there's a little button you can press and it'll push all the cylinders out. And if you have
But
do it.
But
this movie.
I'm talking about more of the putting the bullets in is a lot more difficult.
Dude,
that's why you need to get that thing that holds all the bullets.
The speed loader. But actually,
But they showed that in this movie. Remember during the bar fight?
Yeah.
They showed that one guy and he had his revolver open and he's like trying to put the bullets in like crazy.
Well, that dude's an idiot because all you have to do is flip the revolver like this and then just go it's a real.
If you're getting shot at,
he was freaking out because there was shots going on.
Hold on. If Bob Rocco can do it, I can do it. Okay, I'm just saying.
Your dad is
badass. Let's be honest. Except for all the horrible things he did to me as a child, he's a badass. He didn't molest me.
My God.
Clarify that. I wanted him to, but he wouldn't. That's a Garrison joke, remember? He's like, Dad, why didn't you fuck me? Was I not pretty enough? And he's like, God damn it. I fucking love that joke.
I miss old South Park.
Me too.
What did you guys think of the car chase scene? I love the car chase scene.
Wait, which one?
The one where they're in the two Cadillacs chasing each other.
Caddies, yeah. That scene was pretty rad.
I like how it zoomed in, bulletproof glass.
Yeah. They had to.
Like, I get it. This movie had a habit of lingering just a little bit too long.
Yeah, this movie could have been at least 20 minutes shorter.
Because it's like the scene when he goes to the underground craps table, and it's like.
Dice thrown.
And then,
dice thrown. Money thrown.
And then I made the joke, wait, what's going on?
Well, this is a theme we're seeing with 80s movies where they're like, we need to get that runtime going.
We gotta over-explain, we gotta fucking, hey, we filmed 5 minutes of them playing craps, we only need a minute. Throw in all 5.
All you need is a dirty room with gambling, and you know what's going on.
And you know what's going on. Arnold walks in, smoking a cigar, goes, the table's rigged. Bing, bang.
That was badass. He pulled out like the magnetic
the 2 magnets.
Yeah.
That was actually really cool.
And then they cut to the parking lot, and I was like, oh, I saw the tow truck, and I was like, that's coming into play. And then it paid off.
It drives through the building.
Yeah, it paid off. And didn't I say he better fucking drive that tow truck?
You said he better honk the horn too, and he did.
Yeah, and he did. I was writing this movie as I was watching.
I like how the people walk by. He's like, "Can you guys please move?"
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Your lights are off." It's like, "Thank you, sir."
Thank you.
Click.
Yeah. And then those 8 witnesses watched him drive into a building. I like I like the fact that in this movie, Arnold gets his ass kicked.
I wouldn't say ass kicked.
Not in the sense like
he had to go in the defensive.
Not in the sense like where in Predator, him getting hurt is supposed to build tension. These were just straight up fistfights where, like in Terminator, Arnold, like, he gets punched in the face as a joke. You know what I mean? This was Arnold taking like 6 punches to the face, going like, whoa, and then coming back and just swinging it. It was like, this looks like a legit fistfight for an 80s movie.
No, it's weird that this is like an underrated Arnold movie because like there's a lot of good in this movie.
There's a lot
that he does better in this movie than some of his more popular ones.
Yeah. The problem is this is just it gets overshadowed by Predator, Terminator,
Commando. And you know what's funny? This movie came out the same year as Commando too. They're both 1986.
Commando is a pure popcorn flick.
Yeah,
though.
Commando's. I would watch Raw Deal as like a real movie, but I turn Commando on to like not pay attention and laugh.
Just get really drunk or high, just be like.
I really enjoyed it. I went into this movie being like, fuck, it's an Arnold.
I'm not gonna lie, Andrew. I thought it was gonna be bad.
Listen, I wouldn't let you guys down.
Thanks, Marissa.
I wouldn't let you guys down.
You're welcome.
Back to the kitchen.
No, seriously. I had a feeling.
In the middle finger.
Yeah, me too.
I had a feeling you guys would really enjoy this movie because I know it's funny. Like whenever you guys are like, have you ever seen this movie? And it's like a popular movie. I'm like, no, I haven't. And you're like, what? You've never seen it? I've seen a lot of really obscure movies. And this is one of them. I can definitely classify this as one of the more obscure movies that I've seen. And I love this movie because it's an Arnold movie, but it's not.
It's almost like a Scorsese flick.
Yeah, it's like a low budget Scorsese film.
Like a shittier Departed.
I wouldn't say shittier.
But I mean like quality.
I like low budget.
Low budget Departed. It's a low budget.
Like
they
you were
spend
saying,
their money in the right places.
Yes, they.
Like you were saying, this plays out like a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yeah, it did play like Arnold's character. All right, ignore the FBI past and the cop stuff. Arnold's character of just walking in and being like, "I want to join your mafia." Like that's what you do in Grand Theft Auto.
We gotta talk about the extras.
Oh, the extras make this movie.
Douchebag.
Dude, the extras are. What about the family that smells the rose? They pass a rose around.
I think that was more of a scene where they were just awkward and be like, "What do we do?" And the guy just goes, "Oh, we should."
Well, you know
How about the mall fight with the woman behind the counter? And she's like, call security. This is a heist.
Move
You
it,
should
bitch.
dial, bitch.
Dude, what about the extra who what scene was it?
Was it the gambling scene where the guy's like,
Yeah. He makes this like face like 3 times in a row.
I think he was just a very Jewish man. He's like, he's giving her that much?
Oh yeah, he gives her the coin and he yeah. And it's okay because Lemansky is a Jew and they try to hit him outside a synagogue. Which I thought
I like how Arnold's like, you didn't think to look at the calendar to see if it's a Jewish. Arnold had like jokes aside, he had a lot of smart things. He would be a good gangster.
No,
You know why he knows this is because he's a cop.
Yeah, right. The writing was solid, I guess, but Arnold's
But Chad, the reason why he would know that is because he's a cop.
and all cops are Jews. But
No, it's
no, but this is definitely you could tell this is early on in Arnold's like I wouldn't say early on, maybe early. You know what I mean?
It was 80, what time? 86?
86.
Conan was his first major.
I don't think he was that bad in this movie. He's been worse.
He's been worse, but there's some rust. There's some not rust, but yeah.
But he shows way more range of emotion in this movie than
He doesn't
anything
show
before
any
it.
fucking emotion. What are you
No,
talking
he
about?
had some good charisma in this movie.
Charisma.
No, he did.
Cheesemo. It's different than charisma.
No, I agree with Andrew.
He had no acting. Did he have a crying scene?
You don't need one. He's a fucking
Well,
man.
then, where's
Well,
the ring?
no, well, wait a minute. Towards the end, I mean, the end was very. So let me throw this in there because I wanted to bring this up. Like we talked about last week, that Last Samurai was a story old as time.
Yes.
This is also a story old as time, right? A friend coming to help a friend. And what I liked about this was instead of his friend dying, which would normally happen in most of the times, his friend lives, and at the end you get a very touching scene where you get to see his friend walking again.
Now by touching
And by somebody not being an asshole, I'm going to talk with this. Yes, that was actually a really cool. Don't look at me like that. You were going to make a rude comment.
I'm gonna say by touching Arnold jerked him off, but anyway.
No, I do love the scene where it just ends with them hugging each other, being like, "I did it, bro."
Yeah, he was able to walk. Like he struggled. Remember, he was like, "I don't want to walk. I don't want to walk." And then Arnold brings up his son Blair. You know, he's like, "Blair, would you give up on Blair?" And he makes the effort to make that first step.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying, Andrew. Chris is just a heartless fool.
No, it's just.
But I will admit,
dude, no,
Blair-
that ending felt tacked on and stupid.
Blair is a lame name.
Blair is the worst name. It's like Colt or Aiden. I know a kid named Aiden Colt. I'm making
Cole
fun of
Cabana is a really cool wrestler, though.
Coca Cabana was a song.
No, but
Banana
story.
boat makes sunblock.
I will put a little goof on the movie. Them putting this
Which
scene at
goof?
the end. This putting the scene at the
Papa
end.
Goof or Baby Goof?
It's more of a baby goof.
This is Max Goof. Okay.
Yeah. Them putting the scene at the end is kind of goofy, but I do like it because it just. Come on, man. That scene when Arnold showed up at the. Do you remember the scene when they showed up at the graveyard?
Again, mafia hit on hallowed ground. Wouldn't happen.
Yeah. But right when Arnold saw him, that's where the whole movie that's the climax. Arnold's like, "No, I didn't know it was you." And he just kills everybody. That's when he's like, "I'm going on this spree."
This movie had some transition from second act to third act problems because the third act begins with him in the graveyard. The entire movie is the second act of him being a mafia guy, and then they're like,
it just flips a switch.
They're literally the writer was like, shit, what do I do now? He goes to shoot his buddy in a graveyard, you know? Like,
yeah, but I feel like that was an editing choice.
No, that wasn't an editing.
No, because you might have missed it, but it's because remember he met with the guy from Miami, and he was like, "You know Joseph P. Brenner, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I know Joseph P. Brenner." And he shows him the picture, and he's like, "I don't know who that guy is.
Right?
That's not Joseph P.
So
P. Brenner."
You think he's going to go to the mafia boss and tell the mafia boss, but he doesn't. Instead, he brings the guy on the hit with him to kill the cop. Right? It's such a weird and muddied way to introduce your third act. That's all I'm saying. And dude, third act, there's a reason it's called third act problems. Every fucking person who writes a movie has third act problems.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. It's so hard to fucking transition from the second act to the third act. This movie did it kind of muddied, but the third act was rad.
Yeah.
The third act was just him killing everybody.
There's a difference. Like, you can go from a second to third act and it could just be bonkers and not good, like Wonder Woman. Or you can have this where it's like the third act's so good you don't really care.
It's a little muddied, but you don't mind the mud because that quarry shootout is pretty fucking rad. It's just him doing donuts and shooting people. It's fucking rad.
That was cool how the fucking tractor just picked up his car and was about to crush it with the other guy.
Yeah, the shovel into the dump truck.
That was
And
cool.
you know what? I like how that was realistic and it wasn't ridiculous.
And they fucking
Like how the car got crushed.
They actually
Because you know in an 80s movie they would have had like a ridiculous explosion or like a ridiculous
from 30 different angles.
No, they used the budget.
Yeah, they used that budget in the first 10 minutes, remember?
All the pyro budget went for that.
This movie, I think my biggest downside to this movie is, and this is going to sound heretical, but I think anyone but Arnold and this movie would have been a fucking, like, hit. You know what I mean? If it was, like, Pacino in Arnold's role, or, like, I don't know, anyone... Clint Eastwood in Arnold's role? Fucking, Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers. You know, it's just Arnold's... My thing with Arnold is, all I hear is an Austrian guy. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what he's doing, all I picture is an Austrian bodybuilder. Like...
Well, they kind of... I don't want to say they explained it, but they gave him a foreign last name. They gave him a Polish last name.
They gave him a
Mark
Polish...
Kamansky.
Yeah.
So they tried to kind of explain
his...
I still think he had a lot of charisma in this movie.
No, Arnold's got
great... Chad, and I agree with you. If you look at his early movies, like he had no range. In this movie, I feel like he had way more range than he did before. And he built off of that. Let's face it.
Because what movie came after this? This was 86, so Commando, then
80.
Commando, he has no range in Commando. Let's face it.
Terminator, right?
89.
89 is Terminator 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so
92 and 93.
what came between?
No, Terminator 1 is early 80s.
Okay, so then 2 is 89.
Maybe 2 is 89. Hold on, I'll look it up.
All I'm saying is, like, Arnold made a career off having charisma, not necessarily being a good actor. We like the guy, you know? We like seeing...
No, I'm not calling him a good actor. I'm saying he has more range in this movie than he does in others.
I guess in the context of Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes, he had range. Does that make sense? Because he is not, you know, Meryl Streep on the screen, you know?
No. And I'm not saying that.
I'm a little drunk.
All I'm saying is with Raw Deal is he had more range than he's had before for an Arnold movie. And I think he got to build off of this. Because let's face it, the movies that came out after this, obviously he had more range. But think about the movies that came out before.
Trash, really, honestly. I mean, Conan's great, but Conan, he barely speaks.
Commando is great. I love Commando, but he has no range in Commando.
But he's stone.
Terminator, he's a cyborg in Terminator. He's not supposed to have range.
Lines, you know? No real speaking.
I honestly think Twins was when he finally.
I would say Total Recall.
Twins came out before Total Recall.
Yeah, I know, but Total Recall was like,
Yeah.
get your ass to Mars. He has all his one-liners.
No, we gotta watch Twins again. Him and
No.
Danny DeVito.
No. Twins is his first comedy.
We're doing a Twins review one
What
day.
do a fucking Twins review?
One day.
Dude,
Don't get so angry.
It's just you fucking pick shit movies. Every time.
You fucking picked.
You keep trying to get me to watch this Pretty Panda in the Garden of Wonder or whatever.
Why are you saying that?
I think it's a great movie title, and I want to make it. Anyway,
I just want to add, like I said before, this is a story old as time, just like we did last week. And I think that it was nice for once for the friend to survive, because in this story, typically the friend dies.
Yeah, Kazuma.
And I thought it was a nice scene at the end to see him helping him walk again.
Yeah,
I thought that was nice.
it's
a nice change of pace versus everything where the friend dies and he's like, I'm going to avenge my friend and mow everyone down.
in Last Samurai, both of his friends died. Remember,
Everybody
he loses the Irish guy and then he loses Kazumoto. And then in this movie, the friend lives, which is an incredibly different change of pace for an action movie. That's interesting. I actually like this. So how many bags of popcorn out of 8 do you give this?
Out of 8?
Yeah.
Out of 10.
No, out of 7. How many bags of popcorn out of 7? It's a nice odd number.
6.
6 bags of popcorn?
I would say 6, yeah.
I'm going to agree with you guys on 6.
Unanimous.
6
I
bags
mean, yeah,
of
there's
popcorn.
some scenes that could be cleaned up. You know, I will do constructive criticism. There are some scenes that could definitely be cleaned up and explained a little bit better.
Yep.
But overall, this is a really underrated movie, and it's one that should definitely be given a second chance.
Well, I was telling you guys during the movie, we don't have fun movies like this anymore. They either have to be super
John
serious or
comical. The Rock.
just way too comical.
You either get The Rock action or John Wick act. There's no in between anymore.
Yeah.
Actually,
No. What? There's been no in between.
fuck, I can't think of one single like whimsical, fun, that's not too stupid but not too serious action flick.
The only one I could think of is Central Intelligence.
That's too much, though. I think
Too much comedy.
I watched the intro to that.
It was good. I like that movie.
I watched up until Rock got into the bar fight, and that's where I made the decision.
The rundown.
I made the logical conclusion that John Cena is a better actor
He is a better
than The
actor.
Rock.
Yeah. Peacemaker and all that.
It is so good.
Like it.
We'll talk about that later. But,
No,
yeah, dude. Okay, can I give my constructive criticism on this movie?
Of course.
Okay, and this is completely. There's no way you can fix this just because it's an '80s flick. Fuck that soundtrack. But like, what are you gonna do, man? Go back in time and tell them to fucking write metal music? Like, no, it's what it was. The guns were a little stupid, like the weapon choice. But what are you gonna do? A lot of guys were using World War II guns. Obviously,
it was what was cool in the 80s.
No, it's. Hey, Dirty Dozen was filmed over there. We have about 500 Stens. Let's use those. You know, like. It's like in the old Star Trek episodes where like Kirk would dress up as a Nazi and you're like, they're on a Nazi planet. But really the studio down the street had just a bunch of Nazi uniforms left over. So like, let's make a fucking episode about them going to a Nazi planet. Yeah, that's what this movie was. We got a bunch of leftover Cadillacs. Let's fucking smash them up. You know? This movie was definitely a studio cleaning out its lot and doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Those explosions were fucking awesome.
Yeah, the only thing I can really criticize, but like some of the scenes you said obviously lasted too long. I feel like they could have cut like at least 15, 20 minutes out of this movie.
What are you gonna do? You gotta pad that runtime out.
And they didn't really go any further on the girl ratting him out to the guy.
They did, but it didn't amount to anything. They did explore it
Because she had feelings for him.
right.
Yeah.
So they explored it to its conclusion, and the conclusion was Arnold shooting that guy.
I know it's 80s, but I don't like how they didn't show what happened to the wife.
Yeah, the movie, it's kind of like a kung fu flick. It just ended, you know? No resolution.
And one last thing I want to add, the casting I think was brilliant. Some of the actors, I don't know if you know many of the actors, but like the two mob bosses, the guys, I know they had been in a ton of movies before. I couldn't remember what movies they've been in, but I know I have seen them before. obviously I've seen Robert Davi because he was in the James Bond film License to Kill. He was the main villain. That was Max.
Did you know that?
Max Keller.
Did you know
He was
that?
he was Arnold's rival.
Yeah. The
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of the
yeah.
casting was actually really good.
Oh, I see.
With actors and actresses. So I think they really knocked it out of the park.
a lot of Italians in this movie.
Well, gee, I wonder why.
But I didn't really feel like I was surrounded by my people. No one was gesturing. There was no cheese. No one was drinking wine. No one was listening to Sinatra. Those weren't my people. Those are Chicago Italians. Fucking fake ass Italians. Come over to Jersey. Come over to New York. I'll fucking show you what an Italian is.
Come to Providence, Rhode Island.
Hey, Chad, what does the P stand for?
That was
great. Getting interrogated by the cop. He's like, your name's this?
James P. Pemberton.
Joseph P. Brenner. What does the P stand for? Pussy.
And then I wish the cop had turned around and went, "See you around, pussy." And like that'd be the ultimate like, dang. This movie had a lot of like, "Oh, gotcha" moments. A lot of that because it's Italian as fuck, and it's all about like dismembering someone through conversation. Oh, dude, every conversation with an Italian is a fist fight. If you actually pay attention, you've hung out with me long enough. You get it. It's just insult after insult after insult. And then them going, I don't know about that.
I was just joking, guys.
Italians love saying, far be it from me. You know what I mean? Far be it from me,
So I know your mother's a whore, but far be it for me to say it.
to say anything, but your mother's a whore. A whore.
A whore.
She was a whore, Tony.
But would you recommend this movie, Chris?
Absolutely.
I know you would, Andrew, because you kind of.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm actually gonna show this to my dad.
Your dad would probably love
My
it.
dad loved this movie. This is right. It's a cop. It's mafia, and it's shooting people, and there's chicks with tits. My dad is sold.
There weren't any tits, though.
Yeah, no
We got
nudity.
teased because they went to the gay bar.
Yeah, the only.
First,
Well, how about when they bust into the house and there was people in the bedrooms?
Yeah,
and
they had the
almost-
sheets up.
Yeah.
There was no nudity in this movie. Very violent. It's
Very violent.
Such an American film. Over the top.
I feel like
violence.
this was a Christian director. He's like, violence is okay, but if you show nudity, I don't like it.
It's like you can kill as many people as you want, but if you show nudity,
If I see one nipple on this screen,
but did you get the joke where he's
yeah,
like, scared of God? No fucking boobs, dude. Come on, man. He sees us when we're sleeping. He knows when we're awake. They're like, that's Santa. Satan, and he runs away.
Here's No, no. Go ahead. Cut that out. That was a mistake.
I'm not cutting any of that out. Go. But overall, watch this movie. It's $3.99 on Amazon Prime.
Watch it with your dad. I'm sure he'll love it.
Watch it with your girlfriend. You could be like, "Don't do this."
No, watch it with your girlfriend and go, oh, fuck, why am I dating her?
No, watch it with your girlfriend and be like,
Or watch it with your girlfriend and be like, I'm going to be Mark Kazansky in this movie, and I'm going to plow you like that truck in the construction scene.